Most people will save their entire lives and still end up broke. Not because they didn't try hard enough. Because they were playing a game that was designed for them to lose. Here's what nobody tells you. Saving money is not a wealth strategy. It never was. And the two assets that actually build generational wealth are sitting right in front of most people, completely invisible, because nobody in school, no employer, no government program ever pointed at them and said, these two things, together, will change everything. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why everything you were taught about money was incomplete. And you're going to see exactly why some people seem to get richer every single year without working harder, while others save diligently for decades and still feel financially stuck. Stay with this. Because the thing most people miss isn't revealed until later, and it's the part that changes how you see every financial decision you will ever make from this point forward. Let's start with the savings trap, because this is where most people are right now, and they don't even realize it's a trap. You were told that saving money is responsible. That putting money in the bank shows discipline and financial maturity. And in one very narrow sense, that's true. An emergency fund matters. A financial cushion matters. But saving as a primary wealth strategy is quietly destroying your financial future. Here's why. The average savings account in the United States pays somewhere between 0.01 and 0.5% interest annually. Meanwhile, the real rate of inflation, the actual cost of living increase you feel every time you go to the grocery store, buy a car, pay rent, or fill up your gas tank, runs between 4 and 8% in most years. Do the math. If your money earns 0.5% and loses 6% in purchasing power, you are going backwards every single year while thinking you're being responsible. $10,000 sitting in a savings account for 10 years doesn't become more valuable. Adjusted for inflation, it becomes worth roughly $6,000 in real purchasing power. You saved money. You lost wealth. That distinction is everything. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. The wealthy do not save their way to wealth. They never have. If you look at how wealth is actually built, whether that's old money in London, new money in Lagos, tech money in Toronto, or generational wealth in Atlanta, the pattern is almost always the same. They acquire assets that grow. Two specific categories of assets. And these two, when stacked together, don't just add value. They multiply each other. That's the part most people completely miss. The first asset is financial capital. This is money working in investments that grow faster than inflation. Index funds, equities, real estate, businesses. Assets that compound over time. And compounding, when you actually understand it, is genuinely one of the most powerful and underappreciated forces in personal finance. Here's a real number to make this concrete. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 25, in a broad market index fund that averages 10% annually, a realistic historical average for the S&P 500 over long periods, by age 55 you'll have accumulated over $1 million. The same $500 a month saved in a bank account. Roughly $180,000. Same money. Same discipline. Completely different outcome. The only variable is where the money went. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Financial capital alone is not the full picture. Because most people who understand investing still don't invest, or they start and stop, or they panic and sell at the wrong moment, or they never earn enough to invest meaningfully in the first place. And this is where the second asset comes in. The one that almost no financial content creator talks about when they explain this. The second asset is human capital. And it is the most undervalued asset most people own. Human capital is your ability to earn. Your skills, your knowledge, your positioning in the market, your ability to solve problems that people or companies will pay for. And unlike money in a savings account, your human capital doesn't erode with inflation. When developed correctly, it appreciates. It compounds. It opens income streams. And the higher your human capital, the more financial capital you can deploy. Think about this for a moment. Two people, both earning $40,000 a year. One person invests aggressively in their human capital, takes courses, builds high-income skills, learns sales, learns technology, learns something the market is paying a premium for. Within 5 years, they're earning $120,000. The other person saved everything they could from $40,000 and kept working the same job. Even with perfect savings discipline, they cannot outsave a person who doubled or tripled their income. This is the two-asset equation the wealthy operate with. They invest in themselves to grow their income. Then they deploy that growing income into financial assets that compound over time. Human capital feeds financial capital. Financial capital removes the pressure from human capital. Together, they create a feedback loop that slowly, then all at once, makes wealth feel inevitable. The reason most people miss this is because they treat these two things as separate conversations. Personal development is over here. Investing is over there. But the people who actually break free financially are running both simultaneously. Every dollar invested in a skill that increases your earning power is also an investment. Every raise, every new income stream, every high-value problem you learn to solve increases the amount you can direct into compounding financial assets. And now here's the number that should make this feel truly urgent. The average person in the United States will earn between $1 and $2 million over their working lifetime. That's not a small number. That's real money. The tragedy isn't that people don't earn enough. The tragedy is that almost all of it flows out through lifestyle expenses, low-yield savings accounts, and financial decisions made without strategy. Most people are not poor because they earn too little. They are financially stuck because neither asset was ever built with intention. You are either building human capital right now or you're not. You are either deploying financial capital into compounding assets or you're not. There is no neutral position. Every day you spend your money on consumption without a fraction going to these two assets is a day the gap widens between where you are and where you could be. The people who feel financially free didn't stumble into it. They understood that their ability to earn and their ability to invest were not separate goals. They were one system. They fed each other. And they started building both at the same time, even imperfectly, even slowly, even with small amounts, because they understood that time in the game is the actual variable that separates outcomes. Here's the truth that most people never hear until it's too late. Saving money keeps you safe. Investing financial capital builds wealth. Investing in human capital builds income. But building both together, deliberately, simultaneously, is the only strategy that actually compounds a life. The game was never about how much you save. It was always about what you build.